Alright, so welcome to Melalenz and Friends First Edit with Me session. Right now, I'm working on dodging and burning. If you do not know what that is, just to give you the layman's terms, it brings out your highlights, your shadows, your contrast. It's a good technique to use when you're really trying to make your picture pop. I normally do it after I'm done with any type of retouching of the skin or erasing of the background. So right now we're just going to watch a session that I have already done. I wanted to do it this way so that we can get the time lapse, because it is a process. We're going to break it down to 8 minutes. Between this time, I'm going to let you know exactly what's going on, talk you through it, walk you through it, and show you how it's done. Alright, so first and foremost, you can see I've already done the background and the skin retouching. First thing you need to do is go ahead and the last layer that you use, add a new adjustment layer. You're going to use a curve layer. Now, your very first curve that you want to do, as you can see, I brought it up. It was down here. All I did was drag it up a little bit. This is going to bring the highlights in the picture to pop. As you can see, she's a lot lighter than she was before. Now, once I'm done with this curve layer, I'm going to press Control I, so that, I don't know if you can see it, go back a little bit. She was light and then it went back to the normal color. Now that's just going to create a layer mask and bring that mask down to our background. And we're going to do the same thing to the opposite way. You see, it went bright, Control I, went back to normal. We're going to do one more adjustment layer. See how it's going dark? We're pulling our curve down this time. Instead of going up, we're going down. Once we do that, again, pressing Control I. This is of course on HP. So Control I, Control I. Remember that. Once you bring your curve up, Control I to bring it back down. Now it's not going to bring it back down, excuse me. It's just going to bring that curve into your background. Now the reason we want to do that is because once we're doing the dodging and the burning, we're going to go through and get our paintbrush and actually paint. I mean, it's not necessarily paint, but we're going to reveal those highlights that we created, but we're going to pick the specific places we want those to happen. So now another thing I like to do right after that, black and white layer. The reason we do this is it's way easier to go ahead and see the highlights where you need to put the shadows, the lights, and the darks, however you want to vernacularize it. You would be able to see it a lot better once you go ahead and make that black and white layer. You need to go over here to your reds and bring this down. Now how much you bring it down is just going to depend on the picture that you have and what you want to do. I like to bring it down enough just to see exactly where my highlights are, so when I'm dodging and I'm burning, I know I don't have to guess, so I don't have to put too much into it, you know what I'm saying, just to see it. And when you go back to your picture, it looks like I just pulled the highlight out of the blue, like her cheeks is extra shiny for no reason. We don't want to do that. So next, first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and work with my lights. Now as you see, I changed the opacity up here. Once you change the opacity, I like to keep my opacity at the top at about 20. At about 20, because if you put it on too high, it's gonna bust through. It's gonna bleed through real bad, and that's not something you want. Not at all. And when I'm going through, I'm picking every piece. As you can see where the light and the dark is. So I want to touch every piece of that. Now I do go back and make some adjustments once I do take the black and white off, just to make sure it's not too much coming through. But I'm touching every piece of light you see. I'm trying to touch that. Now I'm gonna do another video also on how to clean up hair as well, because this right here, I'm not gonna necessarily do it in this video, but yeah, cleaning up hair is a big thing that we have to do as well. You can get all of that out, make that junk look crispy. And as you can see, You don't have to do this much detail. You don't have to go through and do these minute details, but this is what will separate you from a lot of people. Now, at first, you might go ahead and do this and run through this and see how long it takes and be like, man, I could just do this quicker by doing less. You could. The average person may not know, but you're going to get that client. You gonna get that client that gonna be like, man, why this picture don't look like these other ones? That's because you ain't take the time to go through and do the minute details. As you can see, I'm working on the arms, I'm working on the knuckles, I'm working on the fingers, I'm working on the fingertips. No matter whatever you see that needs to be light and bright and then dulled down, I'm going to make it happen. Even look at this. What's this? The necklace. We want her to shine bright like a diamond because she got it on her neck. So we're gonna keep going with that. Gotta make sure we're doing it on all parts of the skin as well. Trust me, when you see the results, you're gonna be like, man, okay, I see. Because while you're editing it, even with the time lapse, it makes you realize it a lot more. But in the moment of editing, sometimes you can't really see the impact that it has. But when you see that end result, you're gonna be like, okay, maybe dodging burning is for me. And I can actually go through and do an official video on how to dodge and burn, and you know, get more specific and show more examples as well if anybody ever want to do that. Right here, we got to get the cheeks. Always remember, things that you want to highlight is the things that you want to show. The things you want to put in the shadows is the things you want to hide. Right now, if we showing these cheeks and these eyes, we want to make sure we highlight this. Now, this right here, this right here, a little pro tip right here. You always put the little highlight underneath the brow, especially if you're gonna darken it to make it look it like a fresh brow. You know when a girl get her eyebrows freshly done and it's got that little line, you want to make sure you put that up in there. And right now, I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of the hair, try to tackle that, get on the shirt, and like I said, details like this is what's gonna separate you. Always remember to resize your brush too. When I started editing it, I used to hate to have to resize my brush, man. I didn't want to do it at all. I just wanted to. I was like, man, these little details, man, yeah, these don't matter. I was hitting the skin. I wasn't thinking about none of this. Now, as you can see, I'm going in with the light, still doing the highlights. Now, on the opposite end, I'm going to do the same thing with the shadows. It's a two-way street. We're not just gonna do it, get a couple highlights, think that's cute, and push it. No. There go the lights. I'm pretty sure now moving on to the darks. Now you're about to see I'm about to hit the same spots. It's like hitting hot spots. And this right here is gonna separate you from the rookies. See, gotta hit the eyebrows. Gotta make sure them things is thinking. One thing about it is you get female clients, man, their makeup gotta look good. Even if they makeup artists mess up, you gotta make sure that junk looks good. Because if you take the picture and you send them an edit, they not gonna blame that makeup artist. They gonna like, man, I don't like these pictures. That's gonna be on you. So make sure you know what I'm saying, get your good makeup artist to work with. If not, then be prepared. Be prepared. Sometimes I done had to reshape some eyebrows. Going back through the hair, just getting those extra dark spots. And when you in this black and white, it never really gives you the full effect of how it's gonna look when you take it out to black and white, when you go back to color. So even if a mark, like you see how I did that line on the arm, that kind of stand out in the black and white. But once we go back to regular color, you'll see it's not that much of a drastic change. That's why I keep my opacity down to at least 20, 21. Sometimes I go to 25 depending on what I'm working with. I keep my flow up 100% almost always. At least when I'm doing dodging and burning like this. Like I said, going back through them small details right here might not look like it's making much of a difference. It might look like I'm just hovering over it or something. Nah, we don't see it. Alright, going towards the skin. Same thing. It's like the method is trying to true. I'ma just give it straight to you. This is what we do. All you gotta do is listen to the crew. Do a little dodge and burn and she gonna come back in, get another shoot. You know it's the best when they come and praise you. I said, ooh, you gotta get the lips right too. You gotta hide out them teeth sometime, and then you gotta go to the side of the cheek and get Alright, we're coming to the home stretch. Coming to the home stretch. How does that look? How does that look? Take a look. Black and white. Toggle it. Let me see some. Look at she looking real melanated. Oh my god. Now the next step is to go ahead and take that black and white off. I'm gonna group these up together. Now you see the difference. Bazoom, bazoom. Boom, 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 the melanated, and that's it, melanation right there. That's what I'm talking about, man. Hit me on the next session. Let me know what you think. We gonna get it popping. I appreciate y'all coming and watching this with me.